Hi guys, welcome to the Knowledge is Power section of the course. Today we're going to be talking about music theory, and this is really going to help you understand this instrument so much better. It's going to help you demystify the guitar. Alright, if you ever been watching somebody play guitar and they're able to do so much stuff, and it seems overwhelming because it just seems like they have so much knowledge. They know how to do stuff that you don't know, and a lot of that comes down to knowing music theory and understanding the instrument more. So you know where to play scales, you know where the right notes are, you know how chords are made up, so you can play them all over the fretboard and stuff like that. But we're going to start with the very foundation of it, which is the notes on the fretboard. Okay, so it might seem like there's lots of stuff here, all right, but really there's only 12 notes. Alright, so, but, of course, there's different ways to play those notes, alright? So the note I have here, I have that same note here, alright? But this is an octave higher, so it sounds different, it's got a higher frequency, alright? So it's not like you're just playing the same thing, there's different ways to play notes, you get different variations of those notes, alright? So, again, this is the 12 notes, not just in guitar, but in Western music in general. Now the notes, and I've given you a handout so you can see that in the workbook. We have A through to G sharp. So we've got A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, and G sharp. So that's your 12 notes. Now not every note has a sharp. There is only 12 notes that can be played. Okay, so some letters have been left out. Okay, so you have A and A sharp, B doesn't have a sharp, and E doesn't have a sharp. They're the only two notes that don't have sharps. So remember that. I've put it in a big red circle for you, B, E. Remember B, B. Alright, remember that word, and that will help you find any notes in the fretboard, and I'll show you how. Right, let's go to the top string. We've got E. Now we know E doesn't have a sharp, so the next note must be F. Okay, then I move my finger up to the next note, F sharp, G, G sharp, there's no H, we go back to the beginning, so we've got A sharp, B, B sharp, nope, no we don't, because B doesn't have a sharp, so we're at C. So we go from B to C, then C sharp, then D, D sharp, and then on the 12th fret, we're back to E again. Now that's why the 12th fret is normally marked on your guitar, because that is the next octave. That's when you start again, alright. So, stomach just rumbled there. I've not had my breakfast yet. Anyways, we're going to move on to the second string, alright? So the A string, which is a lot bit easier to visualise because you start at the very start. You start to A, alright? So do this with me, right? We've got A, then next note is A sharp, next note is B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, because he doesn't have a sharp, F sharp, G, G sharp, and back to A again. Alright, now you might be wondering why you even need to learn this, alright? But knowing where these notes are will eventually help you play chords and identify scales. If I want to find the A minor scale, I can find the A note here, the A minor pentatonic scale. If I want to find the B minor pentatonic scale, B's here. If I want to find the B chord, I can find the B and use a certain shape. Play the B chord, I can find the E and play an E chord, alright? So, but we're going to get into that. But there's definitely big pluses in learning this right at the start. Now, to learn all the notes on the fretboard is very easy actually, once you know the top two strings. For one, if you know the top string, if you know all the notes here, you know all the notes on the bottom. Alright? E, F, F, F sharp, and so on. Now I'm going to show you a little trick, alright, so that you can actually identify the notes everywhere else. So, again, we did this at the start. We've got the F note here. Now, if I go down 2 strings, 1, 2, and across 2 frets, sorry, I've got the same note here. That's an octave. Alright, so if you're hearing, you were like, what is this note here? I can go back to an up one. If I can visualise that shape, well, that's an F, so that must be an F. What's this note here? Well, that's a B, so that must be a B. Alright, now the same thing works for the A string. Alright, and the G string, okay, so but notice this is an A sharp, that must be an A sharp. I'm here, let's pick a random note. What's this note? Sorry. Well, this note is an E, so this must be an E. And so on, right? So that means that you can learn, just by using that trick, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the very bottom string as well. Just by using some visual tools. The B string doesn't work the exact same, alright? The B string is 1 fret along, alright? So that's not the same octave shape that you have here. If I've got my index finger on the D string, on the 1st fret, you know, this note here would be a D sharp. I would need to move along a fret extra. So it's not 2 frets, it's 3 frets on the B string. Not as easy visually, but you can definitely still work it out that way. But the best way is to learn the notes on the E string, the A string, the B string, and you can work out the other ones using the octave shapes. Anyways, I hope that's helpful, but what I've done is I've given you a sheet in the workbook so that you can do this yourself and figure out the notes in the fretboard. This will be very useful and this will help it sink in. So please do that exercise before we move on, and I will see you in the next lesson.